First of all, I would like to applaud the landmark judgment rendered by the Honorable High Court of Meghalaya when it heard a PIL number 6/2021 on the 23rd of June 2021, in which the Honorable High Court of Meghalaya have overruled the Meghalaya government attempt to mandate vaccination, in which the Honorable High Court have clearly stated that vaccination by force or being made mandatory by adopting coercive methods violates the very fundamental purpose of the welfare attached to it. It impinges on the fundamental rights as such, especially when it affects the right to means of livelihood, which makes it possible for a person to live. Therefore, right to and the welfare policy for vaccination can never affect a major fundamental right, that is right to life, personal liberty and livelihood, especially when there exists no reasonable nexus between vaccination and prohibition of continuance of occupation and or profession. This landmark judgment rendered by the Honorable High Court of Meghalaya comes at a time when we have seen a number and a series of notifications being issued by the different administrative heads of the respective districts of Meghalaya, in which they have mandated people operating and manning shops, business establishments, and people and also drivers who drives commercial vehicle, that they should get themselves vaccinated. If they fail to comply with the orders of the district administration and of the state government, they will not be allowed to man their shops, they will not be allowed to operate their vehicle. And also, I would also like to applaud the judgment rendered by the Guwahati High Court on the 2nd of July 2022, when it heard a case number WPC 37/2020, in which in clause 5.2, 6.1 and 6.5, it had rendered the following judgment. Let me read to you as to what these are mentioned in the clauses that I've said. 6.1 says only vaccinated individuals should be engaged for manning shops and stores or undertaking any work. Shops, stores, attendants and other employees should be able to produce proof of vaccination, which will be regularly checked by the police, LLTF, the VLTF, the COVID-19 executive duty. And we have also seen that in clause 5 or 6.5, it says commercial passenger vehicles should be allowed to resume operation, and they are mandated to provide hand sanitizers for their passengers, and they shall not exceed their seating capacity. Only drivers and conductors who had been vaccinated should be allowed to operate public transports. This judgment comes in a way when we have seen that a number of business establishments and a number of vehicles were not allowed to operate unless their employers show to the public that they have been vaccinated. And also, I would like to mention here that the two high courts of the different states of India have clearly mentioned that vaccination is not mandatory, but it is voluntary. And if I also may quote what the former Union Health Minister of India, who had just resigned recently, had clearly mentioned that vaccination or vaccines is not mandatory for any citizen in India residing in any part of the country. But the states, the respective states of India, what they can do is to educate the people about vaccines and not to mandate them to take vaccines. I still have a question here. Why is the government of the different states forcing people, especially the unvaccinated, to get vaccinated and display their signs that they have been vaccinated, and those who have not been vaccinated, they should also display the signs that they have not been vaccinated. But the point is, if I may clearly state here that irrespective of the vaccinated or the unvaccinated, we have seen that a number of cases have occurred. There is a steep rise in the number of cases in which even the vaccinated people are being affected with the COVID-19 virus. And why there is discrimination and stigmatization of those people that who have not been vaccinated, they should get themselves vaccinated. Otherwise, they will not be allowed to open their shops or business establishment or to drive their vehicles. When we have seen and when we have heard that even vaccinated people are very likely to still be infected with the COVID-19 virus. We have seen steep spike in cases of COVID-19 patients, even those who have been fully vaccinated. We have seen instances in Israel, we have seen instances in other countries of the world, in the European countries, in Asia, and in everywhere and everywhere else. We have seen that even those people who have been vaccinated, they are very much liable to get the virus. We have seen that the Tamil Nadu Medical Practitioners Association have also asked that there should be a proper monitoring of those people even though they have been vaccinated, because they are also very much liable to carry the virus and also to spread it to others. So why is there the discrimination that only those people who have been vaccinated will be allowed to operate and man their shops, business establishment, and also to drive their vehicles? Also, what I would like to point out here is that in the landmark judgment rendered by the Honorable Guwahati High Court, it says in point number 14, it has been brought to our notice that even persons who have been vaccinated can still be infected with the COVID virus, which would in turn imply that vaccinated persons who are COVID positive can also spread the said virus to others. It is not the case of the state respondents that vaccinated persons cannot be infected with the COVID virus or are incapable of spreading the virus. Thus, even a vaccinated infected COVID person can be a super spreader. If vaccinated and unvaccinated person can be infected by the COVID-19 virus, and if they can both be spreaders of the virus, the restriction placed only upon the unvaccinated person, debarring them from earning their livelihood or leaving their houses to obtain essential items, is unjustified, grossly unreasonable, and arbitrary. As such, the submission made by the learned Additional Advocate General that the restriction made against the unvaccinated person vis-a-vis the vaccinated persons is reasonable does not hold any water, as the vaccinated and unvaccinated person would have to follow the COVID proper behavior protocols as per the SOP. There is no justification for discrimination. The Honorable High Court of Guwahati have clearly mentioned that there should be no discrimination between the vaccinated and the unvaccinated people. Therefore, but what we have learned in the past few days, that we have seen that even after the ruling of the Meghalaya and also after the rulings given by the Honorable High Court of Guwahati High Court, we still have seen that there are numerous instances in which the people are being discriminated, and in which, if these kinds of discrimination acts occur, they are liable to be prosecuted as per the law of the land. What I can say here is that even after the ruling given by the Honorable High Court of Meghalaya, even the after the judgment rendered by the Honorable Guwahati High Court, which was on the 2nd of July 2021, the order of the Meghalaya government personnel A and ARA department orders of the by the governor, it states, dated Shillong the 5th of July 2021, in the order number PER dot 62 slash 2020 slash 91, it says, in pursuance of the department's order number PER dot 62 slash 2020.85 dated 29/6/2021, it is hereby directed that the superintendents, registrars, head assistants in the Meghalaya Secretariat, directorates, health offices, district offices shall maintain a record of the vaccinated status or the RT-PCR negative report once in 10 days of all employees in their departments. They shall put up the record every 10 days to the head of the department or the controlling authority. This order of the Meghalaya High Court to make it mandatory for all the employees of the state government under various departments and in other places that they are being mandated to even have the RT-PCR testing once in 10 days, and they should produce these RT-PCR testings or the RAT testings to the respective heads of their various departments, in which I clearly do not understand why is there the need to have the RT-PCR test or the RAT test only to those people who have not been vaccinated, when we have seen in the previous statement that I've made that even the unvaccinated and when the unvaccinated and also the vaccinated persons are very much liable to spread the disease. So why is there the discrimination that the government of Meghalaya is issuing, and in which I can clearly say that this is nothing but an indirect force on the people, the citizens of the state of Meghalaya, to indirectly get themselves vaccinated. If this is not the case, then why is there a force order that only those unvaccinated people should produce the RT-PCR negative report once in every 10 days, which is thrice in a month? And when we have seen that even people who have been vaccinated, as I've said, they are also the super spreader. So why is there this stigma and discrimination? Why is there this divide? Why is there this social divide between the vaccinated and the unvaccinated people, the group of people? This is nothing but it is creating a social divide amongst the people of the state, in which it is very unfortunate to see that the government of Meghalaya is issuing this order without thinking and without knowing that it is indirectly inciting the spirit of divisiveness amongst its citizens. If I may also state here that the Meghalaya government have made it mandatory that each and every employee of the state government or any other departments, or even the shops or even the drivers, they should get themselves the RT-PCR or the RAT test if they are not vaccinated. If I may clearly say here that is it mandatory for each and every citizen to have this RT-PCR test once in every 10 days or the RAT test once in every 10 days? Is it mandatory? According to this RTI that has been received, which has been replied by the Deputy Director Administration, College Building, AIMS, which is in Sakit Nagar, Madhya Pradesh, it says when it answered a query or a question or an information that was sought by this person, Shri Manindra Kumar, in which through an RTI application he wanted to know the reason Is it mandatory to have the RT-PCR or the rapid antigen testing, or is it mandatory for everyone in India? And the question that has been replied by the authority of AIMS, it clearly says here that RT-PCR or the rapid antigen testing is not mandatory for everyone in India. It is voluntary. And if anyone is not clear about what it says please refer to COVID-19 testing frequently asked questions on the website, which is Ministry of Health and Family Welfare government.in. If I may read to you the website, which is www.mohfw.gov.in for further details. This RTI response have been signed by the CPIO Hospital Affairs on the 9th of June 2021, in which, if I may emphasize, it says and it states that RT-CPR or the RAT testing is not mandatory for any citizen in India, for everyone in India. It says like that. So the question is, why is the government of Meghalaya forcing people to have this RAT or the RT-CPR testing once in every 10 days? And there are also many speculations, and it has also been out in the public domain that the government of Meghalaya is also trying to mandate students, if they want to attend classes, if they want to go back to college, if they want to attend their educational institutions, they should get themselves vaccinated, in which it is like forcing them to get vaccinated. And also, if they fail to vaccinate, they should undertake this RT-CPR test or the RAT testing once in every 10 days, which is not mandatory as per the FAQs referred or which can be seen in the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. Therefore, what I would like to say here is that, as I've said in the beginning, why is the government of Meghalaya, instilling amongst the people the discrimination and the stigmatization of people who are vaccinated and the people who are not being vaccinated? And if I may say to you that this kind of discrimination is happening in the state of Meghalaya, and it is being reported that the unvaccinated people are being discriminated. As I've said that to get oneself vaccinated is not mandatory and should not be forced upon anybody who is not willing to get himself vaccinated. Because if we force somebody to get vaccinated to do things that he is not willing to, that means we are violating his fundamental right to life, fundamental right to liberty, and also fundamental right to liberty, in which I can also clearly say that the International Bill of Rights also clearly mentions the three things, in which it says that a person cannot be forced to do things that he is not comfortable with. And as I've said, that discrimination between the vaccinated and the unvaccinated people is being seen, is being acknowledged, is being reported every day in the newspaper. If I also may quote about an incident that has been reported in one of the locality in which there has been a discrimination between the people who have been vaccinated and the people who have not been vaccinated. If I may refer to a newspaper item, a news item that has been updated, that has been circulated all over the state of Meghalaya and also elsewhere. It is there in the website of this newspaper in Meghalaya, the Highland Post. It says, and this news item that came up on the 6th of July 2017, this incident happened after the ruling of the Guwahati High Court, the judgment of the Guwahati High Court, that nobody it should be discriminated whether vaccinated or unvaccinated. But here, let me read to you as it is in the news item report, which says like this. Non-vaccinated people were not provided with relief packages at a COVID-19 relief distribution camp in a Shillong locality yesterday. A worrying portent that those who are not vaccinated, for whatever reason, will face discrimination. The COVID-19 relief camp was held by the Sanjuk Same Welfare Association and the Assam Rifles Business Welfare Association, which has been supported by the local MLA Lambor Malnyang in Happy Valley, Madandating, wherein rice and a range of food items were distributed to marginalized people who do not have ration cards. But it says here that the organizers publicly announced that the relief items would be given only to the vaccinated people. This in spite the Meghalaya High Court ruling that any kind of discrimination and restriction with regard to vaccination is against the fundamental rights of the citizen. This is a kind of a social divide that the government protocols are encouraging. And also, if I may read here, that it says Malnyang, which is the local MLA, was also present and he was seen supporting this stand, and in which, if I may interpret in the other way around, he is supporting that only the vaccinated people would be allowed to receive relief assistance, and those who have not been vaccinated would not be allowed to receive the relief assistance. So why is this MLA, this particular MLA, doing this injustice to the people who have not been vaccinated, to the unvaccinated? These people, as we can clearly see here, is that they are being marginalized. They are the victim of discrimination, and this sort of action by the organizers of this COVID-19 relief camp should be looked and addressed in a proper way, and this should not be allowed to continue, because if this kind of an accident or an incident is allowed to happen, discrimination amongst the vaccinated and the unvaccinated people will boom, and there will be a social divide amongst the people who are vaccinated and those who are not being vaccinated. I also do not understand as to why, as a public representative, this person who had been elected as a public representative, a representative of the people, is doing such a thing that is constitutionally not acceptable. When public representatives are being elected to the office of being a representative of the people, they swore an oath to the Indian Constitution and their allegiance to the people of the state or the people, that they should abide, and they should also abide by the Constitution, and they would uphold the Constitution at all costs. But what I am seeing here is that even the person who has sworn an oath to protect the Constitution, to uphold the Constitution, each and everything that the Constitution says, is himself violating this oath that he is undertaking, in which I cannot understand why is there this discrimination. This is totally unacceptable on the part of the MLA or these organizers, because we have seen that they are encouraging the social divide, they are encouraging discrimination, they are encouraging stigmatization of those people who are not being vaccinated, and this is an issue that needs to be addressed as per the Constitution of India. The Constitution of India, right to equality, says in Article 14, it says The state shall not deny to any person equality before the law or the equal protection of the law within the territory of India on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. In Article 615, it says the state shall not discriminate against any citizen on grounds only of religion, race, caste, vaccination, place of birth, or any of them. Also in Article 16 of the Indian Constitution, it says there shall be equality of opportunity. This is very important. There shall be equality of opportunity for all citizens in matters relating to employment or appointment to any office under the state. Therefore, what we have seen here is that if anybody continues to violate, or if anybody tries to infringe the rights of the citizen, they are violating the three articles that has been clearly mentioned in the Constitution of India, which falls under the right to equality. Therefore, what I am saying here is that the social divide in the state of Meghalaya is going. The state of Meghalaya is undergoing a series of divisiveness, and there is also this discrimination amongst the people. Therefore, it is up to the people who are in power to understand and in order to minimize and also to stop this discrimination at all costs. And if they want to see that peace and prosperity flourishes in the state, the citizens of India should not be discriminated. And in this case, we have seen that many people who are not willing to take the jab, the COVID-19 jab, they are being discriminated. Thanks to the judgments rendered by the Honorable High Court of Meghalaya and the Guwahati High Court, they have given fair and landmark judgment that the state cannot force people to get vaccinated, and they are violating. And if they force people to get vaccinated, which is against the will and the wishes of the people, they are violating the fundamental right which is being enshrined in the Indian Constitution. Therefore, with these words, I would like to say that whether vaccinated or unvaccinated, the people should be allowed to live as one in cohesiveness and in peace and harmony. If I may also state to you about the International Bill of Rights, Article 1, it says, all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. That means each and every citizen of this country, of this world, they are entitled to be equal and treated equally with dignity and right, and none of their rights can be violated, and none of their rights can be infringed by the state, by the authority, or by anyone else. Also, if I may read to you, in Article 2 of the International Bill of Rights, it says, Article 2, which sets out the basic principles of equality and non-discrimination as regard the enjoyment of human rights and fundamental freedom, forbids distinction of any kind, such as race, color, sex, language, religion, political, or other opinion. And in this opinion, if I may say, it is vaccine, nationally or social origin, property, birth, or other status. Therefore, what I am saying to you now is, let us live in brotherhood as what the International Bill of Rights says, that we should continue to live as one in harmony and with love for one another. We should do away with all this discrimination, and if anybody is found to be discriminating somebody on the basis of whether they wish to be vaccinated or unvaccinated, the law should take its own course of action. And here also I would like to mention that if a person wishes to express his opinion, if he wishes to express his views on any matter, be it vaccine, be it the medicines, or be it anything, that they should be respected at all costs, because if we respect one another, as the Constitution of India says, fundamental rights, a person in India has the right to enjoy his fundamental right, which is freedom of speech and expression. Freedom of speech and expression. And these laws that are enshrined in the Indian Constitution and which has been given unto us on the 26th of January 1950 by the framers of the Indian Constitution. The fundamental rights enshrined in the Indian Constitution are the most superior kinds of rights that can be that the law has that the land of India have to offer. That each and every citizen, based on the fundamental rights, they can enjoy the fundamental right, be it whatsoever, and that the rights of the people and that the opinion of the people should be respected at all costs. Because if we respect one another, we will also reap respect from each other, from one another. Therefore, I hope that in the coming days there will be future judgments from the various courts that are present in India, and probably in the Supreme Court would also render more precise and more clearer judgments, so that people are being taken care of and that their rights are being respected, and that there should not be any discrimination against those people who are the residents of India, the citizens of India. And the National Human Rights Commission, the International Human Rights Commission, which is the United Nations Human Rights Commission, Asia Pacific, and the other organs of the human rights body in the world, they should take cognizance of those people who break the rules and who encourages discrimination. And from my part, I would also like to say that against these people who are encouraging discrimination, encouraging the stigma and discrimination and this social divide, they should be informed in the World Human Rights Commission and in other big organizations that keeps a watch on human rights watch, that these people, especially when they are public representatives, they should be accountable, they should be held accountable, they should take complete responsibility of their actions, because what they do should reflect on what the other people have in mind. And also I would like to say that if you want equal respect, you should also respect others, because if we show that we stigmatize and if we discriminate people, this is not going to be healthy, and it is not going to be as per the law of the land, the international law, and so on and so forth. So with these few words, I would like to thank each and every one of you for lending your ears, and I hope that discrimination, stigmatization cease to exist. We are living in a country that is bounded by integrity, and this is what I have to say, that we should abide, we should respect, we should love one another as brothers and sisters. We live in a land and we live in this world once, and we should also learn to respect one another, which is the universal law of the land. And with these few words, I would like to thank each and every one of you. Thank you.